On this episode of Looking Local, we take you to Hout Bay, where Robin Coutinho spends his days sculpting majestic masterpieces.
My father was a sculptor, and my father discovered I was talented at a very early age. When I was own toys, I never really liked playing with toys that were bought for me. So I had a fascination with making animals, and at an early age my father introduced me to stone, and I never looked back since. There are two ways of working with stone. Sometimes you've got an idea of what you want to do and you look for the stone that will fit it. And the best way, which is the one that I favor most, is when you just got an open canvas and you go in and you see the stone sort of interprets what you're going to do with it, either the shape or the feel you pick up from the stone, and then you work from there. Especially moving from Zim and starting to build up again and starting to put in, it's more like adaptation to the new environment, how I would work around here, finding the place to work and finding materials. I literally changed from the materials that I grew up sculpting in, and because I couldn't find any materials that resembles the one in texture and color and all the other properties that I was used to. I had to literally adapt to the stones that I could find here. It also broadened my horizons because I literally enrolled in a granite refinery to learn how to deal with the hard stones that I could find here.
He has rubbed shoulders with the rich and famous and has even been commissioned to do 2 pieces for one of the world's most notable golfers.
It took me about 6 months or so to locate the type of granite with the right color that I was looking for. I had to get it as close as possible to the tiger color and then find a way to work out how I'm going to have the duck stripes in. It took me about 6 months from finding them to having them come into the studio. And then when the stones were actually offloaded off the truck and I started looking at them, knowing what material I was facing, I started getting scared. But the whole idea of who I was making the pieces for actually made it a little bit more exciting, and I just sucked it up and said, here we go. And the minute I started, it just flowed. It was one of the most testing projects I've ever done in terms of physically testing you, because granite is one of the hardest stones that I use. And it literally was a very tall mountain to climb, and I sort of just told myself, this is something that I'm going to have to reach in deep and just get on with it. But it was a very interesting and exciting project.
Robin has mastered the art of getting paid to do what he loves, and his work is shown all over the world. What's his advice to young South African artists?
It's a lot of hard work, and you have to believe in what you do, and you have to love what you do, and you have to be very consistent. And get your work out there and be very positive, no matter what negative response you get from people. There will always be critics. And it's finding your niche and just exploring it and enjoying it and put it out there. But it's a lot of hard work, and you have to be prepared for a lot of